Hey now! What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and I am here to review the latest film in the Conjuring universe. But before we get started, let me mention that I am on Twitch. I play a bunch of video games on Twitch. Bunch of horror video games, in fact. Twitch.tv/ReviewKingMB. Oh my god. Okay, thank you. Oh. Stop talking. Oh. The Nun II is a 2023 horror film that was directed by Michael Chaves, or Chavez. And that name sounded familiar, even though I don't know how to pronounce it. I looked him up, and I saw that he's directed other movies in the Conjuring universe. I'm talking about The Curse of La Llorona and The Conjuring 3. Two of the weaker films in the Conjuring universe. Thankfully, I did not know that beforehand, so my expectations weren't that high. Hell, the fact that this is a sequel to The Nun was a big reason why my expectations was pretty low. This once again stars. It brings back Thaisa Farmiga. I've been pronouncing her first name wrong for years, so I don't know if I got that right. But she was the nun in training from the first movie, and I like this actress a lot. I do. I've seen her in various other things. She's also the real-life sister of Vera Farmiga, who is in the Conjuring movies as Lorraine. So I always thought that them bringing her in for the Nun films was very cool and very interesting. And even though I think she's fine in the movie, I don't think they knew what the hell to do with her character. She's just kind of here. She doesn't have a real character arc to speak of. There's something that she finds out about herself or her past, but it doesn't, I don't know how to feel about it. Storm Reed is also in the movie as a nun that tags along with her on this journey or this job to find the demon, right? And I like Storm Reed. You see her a lot in so many things. So she's out there, she's hustling, she's killing it. Jonas Bloquet, who played Frenchie in the first film, he's back here. And I remember really enjoying the few things I do remember about The Nun 1. And one of the only things that is worth mentioning and liking in the first movie was his character, Frenchie. He was fun, he was likable, he was charming. So to bring him back here, because of what's going on with him, if you've seen the first Nun and how it ends, you know what I'm talking about. He's not really as much the fun-loving character that we knew and loved and preferred to watch. I mean, he was fine, but he's definitely in a more fucked up situation this time around. There's a little girl who is at this school that he befriends. Her name is Sophie. She's played by Caitlin Rose Downey. I liked her a lot. She was nice. She was sweet. She was somebody that just you could tell had a good heart compared to, what do you know? It's a horror film, so there are bully characters for her to fucking deal with. I mean, I think I've watched too many horror films in my lifetime, and also doing the 31 Days of Horror that I do each and every single year. I go through so many horror films, like first time watch, and so many of them that have kids in them have bully characters, and it's probably becoming up there in my top 5 worst horror cliche plot points ever is bullies. And the bullies in this movie, especially the one girl in particular, bitches. Like, why can't the demon, why can't the nun fuck with them? Because who cares what happens with them? Also, the movie, you could tell, and I actually read this after watching the film. I was looking up a couple things, and the director said that after some of the test screenings, he added extra gore. He added extra scenes of the nun just kind of going around and killing off random characters. And watching the movie, it did feel like, where did that scene come from? It just felt like we needed an extra scene of the nun being more vicious, more violent, and more of a threat, and I guess upping the gore and whatnot, upping the the stakes has some merit to it, but because it made me ask more questions on what her powers were, what the nun's abilities were, what she's actually capable of, and that also raises questions of how the fuck can she do this, but she can't do that. How it just, I know I might be thinking too much about it. I can't really go into these movies and just turn my brain off like I think maybe they want you to. Especially because look at how long the Conjuring movies have been going on at this point. They're about 10 years old. So if these movies now, like The Nun II and like any of the other spin-offs that they plan on doing, if they're made for young audiences, even though it's rated R, it's just, I feel like the writing wasn't strong. I feel like a lot of the character backstory stuff, very confusing. There's a twist ending reveal that they treated like a big deal, but I was sort of scratching my head like, okay. And where does this take place in the timeline? Because I remember the first Nun was a prequel to the first Conjuring, but like, I mean, really early on as far as how far back. But then this, I'm a little confused. And I also don't really give a fuck. I feel like this had potential only because I hated the first Nun movie. But even though I hated the first Nun movie, I gave this a chance because I also hated the first Annabelle movie. Hated it like hell. It was terrible. And then the second Annabelle movie came out. It was actually pretty good. Shockingly pretty good. Way better. So I thought, well, maybe the Nun 2 will right the wrongs. It will say, oh, okay, this side franchise has some life, has some money value, so let's put some effort into it. Let's actually make a halfway decent film. And I don't really think they did that. It might be slightly better than the first one, but that's just me kind of sort of being nice. I will say though, there is one sequence with this man-sized bull, or whatever the fuck it's supposed to be. It looked goofy as all hell. It's almost as bad, probably even worse, than that red Darth Maul looking dude from the Insidious movies. As much as people made fun of that, this is the silliest looking shit. I can't believe they put this on screen, expecting it to be scary. I didn't care for this movie. I didn't. I'm gonna give this some old bullshit.
That's some old bullshit.
So guys, let me know in the comments below if you too saw The Nun 2. Or are you like, fuck that, I'd rather go rewatch Barbie or Oppenheimer. I don't blame you. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!